Welcome back, guys. So this is our session 2 for Zephyr Scale. So in the first session we learned about how to create test cases. Now we are under test cases tab and we can see that this test cases we have already created. In the last video we go over all these details, how to write test script. We have different kind of test scripts writing modules available. So in this uh, video we are going over how to create a test cycle. So when we click on test cycle, we have currently there is no test cycle, so we can create one test cycle right now. So if we create that new folder, you can name our smoke release build. You can name anything based on your project. So it's always good to use the name which is meaningful. So in this one we can also create a subdirectory. We can mention, let's say here this is our sprint 1. We can say pi dot s1. So our sprint 1 smoke suit we are creating here. If you click on this one, you can add new test cycle. Again, it's in like a similar way. We have test case, some details we have to cover. Sorry guys, just look around for a second. So yeah, so we need to name our test cycle, but we're gonna say it's that this is smoke build. We can say that sprint 1 cycle. You can name that, and you can mention that validating the smoke build for release. So we can change the directory. Currently we have whether we want to put it under S1 sprint 1 directory, or we want to make it on smoke release. So we can keep the same directory executed, whether it's in progress, done. So let's say if you're working on it, you come back over here, you can change it to in progress. We are working on it. Version 1. Currently we do not have version, but later we can see from the configuration file how we can add the version. Iteration in a similar way. We will mention, we can choose who's running, who's the owner of this one. We can mention the start date. So when we are making a test cycle, we can, let's say we can mention that our release is going on Friday, so we mention that our test cycle is on 27th, or we can see that is our release is on, let's say, next week. So we want to make sure that our smoke build passed before Friday we signed off. If there is any bug encounter, so we have enough time for dev to fix it up. And end day we can say that we have started on 27. We will sign off by the end of Friday. So that is the most important part. So in this test cycle, let's say in our smoke build, what test cases we wanted to include in our test cycle. Right, so we can see here, if we pull it over here, we see here we have 2 test cases, but in the smoke build we have only 1 test case. So if you look over here, it's currently showing this. So let's say we want to pull both 2 test cases. I know currently the both are login test, but visualize that we have a different test case over here. So we select our test cases. You can single select, or you can select all them together. We have some tabs over here. We can even change the project. Currently I have only 1 project. If you have multiple modules, so let's say in our real life we have 1 feature for claims, 1 feature is for reporting, so we can make it part of that. Let's say some information reports are generating from our feature. So what we can do, that we can add some of the test cases of reports in our part of our smoke suit, so we can also pull those test cases here. We add those test cases. Now these test cases became the part of our we save it. So our test cycle has been saved. The 2 test case traceability. Like the test case, we can also link it to test case, or we can add some of the extra information we need for our test cases. Test plans. Currently we do not have any test plans. When we cover test plans, we will go over there how we can add. Attachment is very important. When we run all our test cases, we need to attach our, let's say all test cases are passed, we can capture that screenshot and we can attach with this test cycle that all test cases have been passed. Comments, we can add comment. Test cycle needs to run before every release. History, when we run couple of times, we will see that the history will show over here. So here we have saved our test cycle. So when we go over here, so this is the test plate, that is the most important part. So let me take you back. So when we are in our test cycle, we have this test sprint 1 cycle we created. So if you click over here, it will take us to test player. Here we can mention, when we are working on it, we can start our test cases. So it will say in progress. We can directly change to pass if we sometimes forgot to run the timer. But it's always good practice to start your running test cases timer. So you can see. So here, let's say we are working environment. If there are different environment, which environment you validated, whether you validated in QA environment, staging environment, or UAT environment. So based on your project configuration, you may see that environments are displaying here. The version, like we mentioned that which version we have executed. Sometimes these versions you get from the DevOps team, that they mention that this is the build you have to test it. So it may be available over here, or you can add from that parameter and you can mention the which version you have tested. Actual, this is, I think this is related with this time, how many actual time it has taken. So we will see the objective, we are seeing the precondition, we can see the details, whether it's the test case has been approved from our peer priority, very high priority, what are the labels, if there's any attachment in our test cases, these are, we can see over here. Comments, we can look into the comments, or we can add some comment that I try to test it, but login page is not loading precondition, so we can mark it fail. Issue, once we complete our test case, we can attach the screenshot here that user is logged in. Let's say we log in our application, we see the dashboard, we take the screenshot, we attach to this. Given users login, so when we make sure that all these steps are passed, actual result, click here to type the actual result, we can say pass. And when we press this button, so you notice here, this is not executed. When we see this, it's a passed, it's a fail, it's a blocked. So we can put it over here. You can also exactly select it from here. Create issue, let's say we thought that it's blocked, we say create issue, it will take us to write up bug. We can select a bug from here and we can link it from this, so it's automatically linked here. So currently we make it passed, we said that it is passed. The moment we press passed, it stop the timer, so it takes us 2 minutes to run this test cases. So this is how we created. Now we will go to the, let's say we run half of the smoke suit, then another task came that we have to leave the smoke build and we have to come back. So we go to our test cycle and we say that 50% progress has been done. So let's say in our stand-up call, we can go where we can tell the team that, hey, I have run 50% test to 75% test, and we hover over, we can also see how many test cases have been passed, how many has been failed, so it's in progress. So later in the day, you find the time, you come back to your test cycle, you go over in the second test case, you fill all the requirements, you start executing, you notice that. So yeah, in this test case, we have not used in the Gherkin language, so we have defined each step. So in step, we have input, username, and then we have actual result. So we say this step has been passed. Notice the timer is still going on. We run the other test case, we make it pass as well, or we can mark it, let's say, fail. This test case has been failed for some reason. Now when we go back to our test cycle, so you see it's 100% done. We have some failure test cases. We go over there on our failed test case. This time it passed 100%. So guys, at this time at least we are able to run our uh, basic level of test cycle. There's a lot we have to look into this test cycle that we are going to see in the upcoming videos. So in the next video we are going over the reports, how we can generate the reports and how we can create the test plan. Catch you in the next video. Thank you.